Okay, so let's take a look at some situations where we no longer have the picture, just have the equation. Same idea is want to find the same properties but without having a picture. So, first one, take a look at this. I want to find the zeros. Well, I know this kind of looks like factored form, so my zeros are going to be 2, 0, and negative 2, 0. Right, the S and the T. The y-intercept. Okay, that's a new one. But I said before that I know the y-intercept always happens where x is 0. So if I find out f at 0, I'll get 2 times 0 minus 2 times 0 plus 2. Do my bed mass here, negative 2 and 2, multiply it all together, and I get negative 8. So my y-intercept is the point 0, negative 8. And the leading coefficient, that's our a value. The a value is the leading coefficient. Specifically here it's 2, and it's a positive. It's a sign that's important, remember we talked about. Okay, our degree, it's a quadratic. We know that, but in case I wasn't sure, I just count my x's. I see 2 of them, so it's a degree of 2. Okay, our end behavior, as I go to the right, what happens? Well, we said a second ago, our leading coefficient tells us what the right-hand side does. Our leading coefficient is positive, right up here. So that means my graph has to go up to the right. And because I know it's quadratic, when I go to the left, it has to go up also, right? Because quadratics look the same on the right as they do on the left. There's no choice there. Okay, and then part 6, is this a min or max? Well, taking a look at the little sketch I just drew, kind of obvious it's going to have a minimum, right? Okay, there's a quadratic and using just the equation to figure out its properties. Let's try a linear one. Okay, our zeros. Now, this one is not as easy to tell what our zeros are because linear functions aren't set up to find your zeros, they're set up to find other things. So to find our zeros this time, we're going to make the idea of I want to know what makes x equal 0. Sorry, I want to figure out what makes y equal 0. We're doing the zeros, not the y-intercept. Okay, I want to know what makes the equation equal 0. To figure that out, I'm going to write down 0 equals 3x minus 2. And I'm going to solve this. I'm going to put the numbers on one side, so cross the equal sign, do the opposite. I'm going to divide out that 3, right? Little 3 here, little 3 here. And my zeros, or in this case, the 0, because only one that's a linear function, is at 2/3. And the messier one. Part 2, where I want to find the y-intercept, here's where I can make x equal 0. Now I could do this math. F at 0 equals 3 times 0 minus 2. But if I was smart, remember from earlier, this thing is always our y-intercept, right? That would have been an easy one to write down without having to write down any math. Okay, 0, negative 2. Our leading coefficient, thing at the front, the a value. Well, in this case, it's a positive 3. Okay. Part 4, what degree is this? Well, it's a linear relation, so that means it's a degree of 1. Okay, our end behavior. What happens as I go to the right? Well, we said we had a leading coefficient of positive 3 here, so my y's have to go up. As I go to the left, it's a line, right? A line is going down to the right. It kind of means it's going up to the left. So I know it's going to go up to the left. And does this have a min or max? Well, no, it doesn't because it's a line. It goes on and on forever, so that's not applicable. Okay, so there's a linear one, there's a quadratic one. I got 2 more for you guys. You give them a try yourself so you can figure out the linear one, the quadratic one, and that'll be the end of this first lesson. Okay, I want to know the zeros. Zeros. Well, one of them for sure is 1, 0. There is a second one. It's kind of a weird one, just to point out to you guys. Okay, this thing right here, that looks different than normal. If this was like normal, we'd write this out as x minus 0. We don't usually write that though because x minus 0 is just x. So whenever we get a situation where we see a letter just by itself right there, like 3x or 5x or negative 2x, one of our zeros is 0. Kind of a tricky one here, okay? This one right there, that's 0, 0. Okay, part B, we want to figure out our y-intercept. Well, that's the point where x is 0. Find out what's happening at 0. 3 times 0, 0 minus 1. Hey, what's 3 times 0? Isn't that 0? And 0 times anything is 0, right? So our y-intercept is 0, 0. Now, common sense, maybe you thought about back here, is that also not our y-intercept, 0, 0, where x is 0? Yeah, again, it's a tricky one. That's also going to happen anytime you get an x just by itself. Okay, our leading coefficient. Leading coefficient would be a positive into 3. Our degree, sorry, no, what's next? What's next? Oh, it is degree. Okay, our degree. Our degree is 2. I see 2 x's. Okay, part E is our end behavior. As I go to the right, the graph is going, positive. So it's going up. As I go to the left, it's also going up because it's a quadratic. It's a degree of 2. And does this have a min or a max? Oh, it's got a min. Because both of these went up, right? Up right and up left. Last one. I want to know the zeros. The zeros are where this thing comes out to 0. So let's solve this one. Numbers on one side, letters on the other. Divide out the 4, and I'll get negative 0.25 or negative 1/4. Fractions are fine, or decimals, because it's a nice decimal. There's my zeros. There's only one of them because it's a line. My y-intercept, I'm going to cheat this time because I know the y-intercept is always the number at the end over there. So 0 and 1. My leading coefficient looks like a positive and a 4. My degree, well, it's a line, so degree of 1. My end behavior, as I go to the right, the graph is going, well, it's a positive 4, right? So the graph is going up. As I go to the left, the graph is going, well, if it's going up to the right, kind of suggests it's going down to the left, right? So negative infinity. And the last one, does this have a min or a max? Well, it's a line, so we know that's not applicable. Okay, and that takes us through some of the nicer little linear and quadratic things. Okay, no quiz tonight, just try the homework. There's a table to fill in and a couple of questions to work with either graphs or equations themselves.